Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to a city I didn't think I would ever load up ever again. We're back in Town, my first ever. Yeah, I will say it's my first ever city I fully built on this channel. I've built cities in the past, but this is the one that kickstarted City Skyline on the Seniac 2 channel. And recently I reloaded it as a kind of way to kind of look back and revisit Town. But we're back in it today, and you may be asking or wondering, Seniac, why have you loaded this game back up? Well, I recently discovered, and I know I've talked about it a lot in the past, the more vehicles mod, which ups the limit of how many vehicles you can have in a city. And ever since I discovered that, because it's really transformed my Snowtown series, I often keep looking back and thinking about Town. And there's a good reason for it. Town was the first city I discovered city limits. I didn't know they existed. I didn't know it was a thing. I thought you could just keep building and building and building. And the reason that this series ended was because of city limits. If we had no limits, I'd probably still be doing this series today. Well, probably not. But I had to, unfortunately just stop at that series because I reached not only the vehicle limit, I reached the segment limit, the node limit, the building limit. I reached everything. I had to do all different kinds of stuff to make this city work. Well, today, we are back. And, if we just come out for it just for just a second, boom, 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 oh my goodness me. We're going to take a look at enabling the more vehicles mod. Now, I don't care about any of the other mods that up any other limits because I feel like this city is big enough. It's 636,000 population right now. Whew. Damn. And I want to see what happens when we enable the more vehicles mod. Now, I noticed this straight away when we were playing the game. I kind of had an inkling we were running out of vehicles at some point. Because when you look at these big, vast, populated areas, one thing you notice is, where's all the vehicles at? There's a couple here and there. And that's because the game has a maximum limit of 16,000. Now, before we jump into it, guys, if you do enjoy this, want to see more videos like this in the future, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're new in here, then make sure you do subscribe so you're notified that next episode does come out. But this is how it went down. If I check my statistics right now, right, the segments and the nodes I capped out when we were doing the series. I managed to reduce it. You see, I'm not at the limits right now. I managed to reduce it because we have no water pipes within the whole of Town because I'm using the mod that we don't need water pipes and we don't need power lines. So it's I have those two mods installed, which that on its own saved me so many nodes and segments, which is beautiful. Then I reached the building limit, which we are about 1,000 away right now, but we did reach it. It floats up and down when some buildings get destroyed and then rebuild. So that number's always fluctuating, but I'm pretty much at the limit. The next big one was the vehicle limit. Now, this didn't really affect me in the game because we had $1 gazillion in the bank. And I was quite happy that we didn't have any more vehicles coming in because it means I didn't have to do any traffic management because I'm terrible at it. But look at the citizens too. We're at almost at the limit of how many citizen units. Not citizens that you can have in the city, like actually physical citizens walking on the street. So we're pretty much almost at that limit as well. Now, I want to see with this, the ability to have more vehicles in the city, how does it transform Town? We haven't been making profit for the longest time. And this city was built without me having any knowledge of lane management, traffic management, any of that, lane mathematics. And I can kind of give you a good example about lane mathematics. There is no lane math at all in this junction. This is before I learned. I mean, you could argue I still don't know anything right now, but trust me, what I know now is 1,000,000 times more of what I used to know back then. So we're going to see what entirely happens, and it's going to be really, really interesting. So I'm going to load it up right now. It's going to enable me to have 65,000 vehicles max, which at the current limit is 16,000. I feel like I might reach that 65,000 limit. And we're going to see a lot of traffic issues. Before we go through it then, the traffic flow right now is 82%, okay? It's currently 82%. The majority of it resides around this big industrial area over here. A little bit through all here. Roads are kind of crazy, all over the place. But remember this number, 82%. Or it's 81, but I rounded up to 82%. Let's see how more ridiculous it's going to get. So, I'm going to enable the mod. We're going to come back And we're going to see what happens to a 600,000 population city when they can spawn more vehicles than the base. I loaded the game back up, and this is something that people don't realize when you kind of build a city this big. When you load it up, it takes a minute or two before the game actually kind of works. Like, it hasn't even loaded up the decals. There we go. Oh, there we go. I said the decals, the terrain painting of the concrete, and before you know it, it should all start working. Like, you can see that the transport lines here haven't even fully connected just yet. This is how big this city is. I've really pushed the game boundaries when it came to Fool's Town right now. But I should be able to view the vehicles active. You can now see I can have a max size of now 65,000. So in a moment, once it all updates and things get rocking and rolling, this number should slowly start increasing. And then we should slowly start seeing more and more vehicles entering the streets. Right, are the vehicles moving yet? You would think I'm in pause. Oh, there we go. Let's say you would think I'm in pause mode, but it's actually not the case. I'm not sure what's going on over here. No idea what's going on. But there we go. We're now rocking and rolling. So, with that said, we're now already up to 17,000. I've already gained an extra 1,000 vehicles on the mean streets of Fool's Town. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And like I said, we should start to see more and more vehicles coming out. I'll try and fast forward the game. It's going to make no difference because of how big the city is. But as time now ticks along, it should slowly start spawning more and more vehicles. I feel like as this all happens, I kind of want to go around doing all the lane management and stuff like that. But it's like, look at how slow they're driving these vehicles. And this is at me times 9. Ain't nothing happening right now. So 17,700 is what we're currently at. 17,800 is now what we're currently at. Oh, no, okay, we're gaining hundreds of vehicles like literally every second. Good stuff. So it will take some time. It's going to take about 5-10 minutes just to kind of see like a decent amount of vehicles kind of rolling around the streets. Look at this monstrosity. Look at this. Don't even ask me what is going down here right now, because even I don't even know what's going down right now. I don't know what I did on half of this, but at the same time though, look at my racetrack. It's amazing, and we have race vehicles going around, even though they're sunken into the road. Are they all sunken into the road? No, that dude's kind of okay. It's still hilarious though. So right now we're up to 18,000. Wow, we're getting an extra 1,000. So we're currently 2,000 more vehicles on the mean streets of Fool's Town than the base game originally allows us. Now that is not enough to kind of get things rocking and rolling and moving within Fool's Town. It's not enough to make any kind of impact whatsoever. So if I take a look at the traffic side of things, we're at, okay, maybe it has 79%. Maybe those extra 2,000 vehicles have caused a little bit of issues. Interesting. Right. We'll give it 5 minutes. We'll come back. I reckon it's got to do with this little area here. We'll come back in 5 minutes and we'll see how many vehicles we currently have on the streets. So we're at nearly 19,000. We're at 19,500. So that is now 3,000 additional vehicles on the road. Some time has now passed, and as you can see, I'm now making $100,000 in profit every week, which is a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know where that's come from. I don't know what's going down right now. Before I check how many vehicles we currently have spawned, the traffic situation is at 80%. I promise you, I haven't done anything. I haven't changed anything, so I don't know what's going down. There's a lot of traffic here, there, and everywhere, especially in the industrial areas right now, which is not good. 81%, we're going back to normal stuff. But obviously the difference is I've got more vehicles than ever, and I'm now making profit. So I don't know what's happened. The roads still seem a little bit quiet in certain areas. I don't know what it is. How many vehicles have we actually got out? What? 19,400? I'm still at plus 3,000 more than we had. Something seems a little bit fishy, doesn't it? Something does. So is it the fact that maybe, you know, there's so much traffic in these areas we can't spawn the vehicles to get out as quick as we would want or we would like? Is that the issue? I mean, it can't be the issue. I mean, there is so many vehicles, though. There is definitely a lot of vehicles. But it's a weird one, isn't it? It really is. And at the same time, I'm still getting like 1,000 people moving in. Like, what more does this game want from me? But yet you can't spawn any more vehicles? Something seems a little bit too fishy. Like, when we enabled this in Snowtown, it went up into the 20-odd thousands. I get like an extra 10,000 vehicles. So I don't fully know. But let's try and do some little things to kind of sort things out slightly. So if I make these guys turn directly here, and yeah, they have the ability to go straight on. I'll also allow them to do this. I know it's not what you would normally do, but I'm just trying to filter out the vehicles in this area a whole lot easier and smoother. Right, let me see if I can get them flowing through, pushing through, rocking and a rolling. God knows if we're going to, but I just need to get the vehicles out this area a whole lot easier. I can even like encourage like maybe slip roads to kind of get out, but I don't think that's the issue. I don't think the issue is it's so difficult to get the vehicles out the area. It's stopping other vehicles from spawning. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think it is. So maybe, I mean, and I don't want to say this either. I don't want to say that maybe an extra 3,000 vehicles was all this city needs. It can't be. Like, 600,000 population and all they needed was an extra 3,000 vehicles? Nah, that's not right, is it? That can't be right. That cannot be right. Although there's a lot of vehicles heading out. Don't even ask what this is. Don't even ask what that is right there. What are we up to now then? 19,500. I mean, it's gone up slightly, but it's not enough to like go, yo, what's going down, boy? Like 50,000 profit these are making. Could it be that they're all being pumped into trains? That could be a thing. There is a lot of trains scooting around right now. That could be a thing. I mean, I'm starting to visually see more vehicles on the highways. Don't get me wrong, I can see more vehicles around here. There's just little fixes that we kind of need to do, isn't there? To kind of allow the vehicles to flow through a whole lot more. But are we still going up for 19,600? Actually, we now are going up again. So I don't know if that was like a small little lull period. And now things are rocking and rolling again. I don't know. Maybe I give it another 5 minutes and come back. But I slightly feel underwhelmed. I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting the world to crash. Because of how many peeps we have living here. But then again, you could argue, I can't get any more citizens. Well, I can get another extra 100,000 citizens spawned. Yeah, the number is slowly going up, 19,700. I reckon I just misjudged it. Am I judging too early? I could be. Okay. Right, it's actually been another 10 minutes at this point, and we've gained nearly 5,000 population. So you got to think at this point, an extra 5,000 population, more people living here. Vehicles going to go for the roof. Well, traffic side of things, still 81% traffic flow. 19,900, 20,000. There we go. So we're still going up. We're still going up, but it's still not a lot. But what I'm about to do right now is going to change, pretty much change everything. We are going to, and we might regret this. We are now going to clear all the traffic, right? Yeah, I know. Bam! Yes, I'm sure. Which has now put it down to 195 vehicles, 1,000 vehicles now active, as everything has now completely gone. Vehicles will slowly start spawning again. I'm going to do a hard reset and let them naturally do what they've got to do. So you'll see the odd vehicle or two that will kind of come out of nowhere as people, you know, start living their daily lives again. We're going to see a lot of issues, a lot of, I don't know what's going on over here. Vehicles coming from the highways and stuff like that. which has also enabled us to kind of slightly fast forward the game a little bit too. Not a lot, but we'll see how it goes. So this is now going to cause a dramatic effect. Dramatic effect. We're up to 5,000 vehicles already active in the game. So we're going to see how that still ticks along. There's vehicles now heading out. We're going to have mass traffic chaos. 79% traffic flow right now. All of the vehicles coming out of the warehouse area, they're going to have traffic chaos right now. But it's a hard reset just to get things moving, and then we'll see if that number then updates and changes. So again, it's going to be another one of those. Going to have to wait 5-10 minutes to see what pretty much happens. But I feel like these guys here, all going through here, need like a better system to filter onto the highway. I thought about kind of doing a road that kind of goes straight down. How do you reckon that would work? Would it work? Probably not. Probably not. But we got these little slip roads just here. Let me try it. This is just out of interest. Right, if I brought that to there, and then that... Can this go underneath? Wow, that was so difficult to try and build that road. And if I go to here... Right, ignore how ridiculous that is. How ridiculous that road is my whole mentality when I was building Foolstown. But just to filter the traffic out a little bit easier anyway. 9,400 is now what we're up to. So we've just almost doubled it since the last time we pretty much checked. And we now have half the active vehicles that we did have before we cleared the traffic. So, again, very interesting. See where it goes. See what it does. Vehicles, 2 vehicles are already using that road right now. And hopefully you can filter out a lot more vehicles. You never know. It could be a really bad idea. But it'll be really interesting at the same time. 645,000 population right now. We've gone down to losing loads of money, but that is because we got rid of all the vehicles. Don't forget that. 11,000 vehicles right now. I don't know whether that's slowing down or that's, you know, growing at the same pace. But we'll give it some time. 55,000 an hour now being made. Up to 650,000 population. We've gained 12,000 citizens by enabling that mod, allowing stuff to move and grow. But the big question is, how many more vehicles have we had on the streets? And at the minute we're up to 19,000 again. It's weird. Foolstown doesn't need any more than 3,000 more vehicles after the base game to continue to run and progress. Literally, I was at a standpoint in this game, like I was in Snowtown, where I couldn't spawn any more vehicles. But the difference is, in Foolstown right now, I only needed an additional 3,000 vehicles to turn this city around, for the population to keep growing, for us to make profit. It was 3,000 vehicles. Snowtown, it was over 10,000 vehicles, which I find freaking ridiculous in the comparisons. Now, as of right now, traffic flow, 80%. For a city this big, that is not too shabby, right? Now, we're still increasing. You could argue we're still slightly increasing, but it ain't skyrocketing, guys. It is not skyrocketing right now. Now, how good is public transport? Like, how many people are we seeing travel? Total, just under 7,000. Okay, that's not too shabby. I wasn't saying like that's going to be a reason why we're going to have so many little cars going around. But that is not the case. That is literally not the case. So I can't physically wrap my head around the reasons why. How's Fantastic doing? That has nobody visiting. Yeah, so I can't physically wrap my head around the reasons why we don't have that many vehicles being spawned when we've given it plenty of time for things to happen right now. I don't know. Maybe it's just down to the fact that it didn't need that many. Like, they're able to transfer the goods via trains, use public transport. Some of the stuff that people need to get to is local enough that they can maybe walk to it. All this stuff I'm thinking going through my head. But the one thing I can't get my head around is, how are we still growing by 1,000 on a weekly change? Like, where's the buildings? That I haven't zoned anything new. It just shows us really how empty some of these buildings may have been. So this is all like residential over here right now. And clicking on it, I mean, yeah, some of them can store an additional household here and there. But does it warrant 1,300 weekly change and increase in people moving here? Probably not. now we also all of a sudden have a heating problem. This is not Snowtown. Guys, this is not Snowtown. How do we have a heating problem right now? We've always kind of had a heating problem. Because I remember having to add that in with that mod. It does require you to add heating in. Where did we place all the heating stuff then? Because our consumption's pretty high. I don't remember where we put all the heating stuff. I don't know whether this... Oh, it's here. It's right here in front of me. So if I was to kind of just up it a little bit. Because for some reason, that's just how the game is, guys, okay? That's just how the game is. The mod's a bit funky. It thinks I need heating. I remember this being an issue and a bug. Right, just by doing that, even though it's not sending heating anywhere, right, you just got to get it connected so it will allow us to... There we go. Heating issue now gone. Crisis averted. So, borderline coming back up to 20,000 vehicles once more. Very nice. Very nice. Still gaining, 1,300 residents at a time. I don't really know what to say. It's hilarious, confusing, all at the same time. But there is definitely a lot more vehicles tooting along right now. We're up to an additional 4,000 vehicles. But it could still be growing, don't get me wrong. It could just be growing at a slower pace right now because of how big the game is. So for the last time, I'm going to give it another 10 minutes. And ultimately see what... Now, as time's going on, I feel like I physically feel like there's more vehicles now tooting around the streets. And if I check the vehicles active, it's up to 20,600. So it has increased by additional 600. But it's not going up as quick as I expected it to. Again, we're only like 4,000 more vehicles than what the base game allows. It just looks like it didn't need any more. We're up to 656,000 right now. We're closing on 20,000 more residents than what we started this episode with. I am amazed. Like, so freaking amazed. So as some cities require the extra vehicles to do stuff, like where Snowtown required the extra vehicles to transport the goods, turns out Foolstown just required a couple of extra vehicles to grow the population, which I still feel like is amazing. And it ends slowing down. We're still up to like 1,200 ticking along every week. Amazing, guys. Freaking amazing right now. Traffic used to be really bad going out. It kind of still is on this little strip here, but it's mainly traffic coming in right now that is holding things up slightly. But without fixing anything, my mind's blown. My mind is ultimately blown right now of how many vehicles, and the traffic scenario is still 80%. Now it's really shocking in some areas. And you could argue there is this 80% is because we have so many roads and some of them are so freaking quiet that counteracts the bad areas. I mean, you could argue that as well. But when it comes to our industries, we are losing a lot of money right now at the minute. It comes in waves, I've noticed. No fishing, because obviously the fishing DLC was not out when I was playing this save game. Every industry is making money apart from the unique factories and warehouses, but that is down to the fact that I have a lot of warehouses just storing and sitting around. So I went a little bit over OTT when I built all those. But yeah, this is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. We still have zoning over here for offices that could eventually be built, so there's more industry to still grow. Interesting. Interesting. My mind has officially blown. I just don't get it. And now it's actually coming down from 20,600 to now to 20,400. We've reached the peak, and now 20,384. We've reached a peak. Oh, did that go slightly up again? Yeah, but we are not. Yeah, we're coming down. Like, it's floating up and down right now. It hasn't gone above 20,600, so we ain't getting any more vehicles. It's now slowly settling down. It's going to stay above the 16,000 because obviously, granted, it does need more than 16,000 vehicles to be running around. But that's it. Like, seriously, that's it. And we've now gained 20,000 more residents. Wow. I am shooketh to the max. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. My mind is frazzled. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good.